I'm excited, man. We're getting a historic matchup between the LA Galaxy and the New York Red Bulls. So
Well,
it should be a fun one.
this handicaps LA a bit. I mean, that's a really good player, Mr. Pooge. But it'll help, New York Red Bulls kind of catch up a little bit as far as star power goes. It'll be interesting, man. See if Red Bulls can pull it off, though, or if their luck runs out and they get smashed by an LA Galaxy team that drops touchdowns on people,
Thanks for listening to KC Sports Network, proudly presented by Emprise Bank. If you're thinking about starting a business or know someone who is, check out Emprise Bank's SBA loans. It's always good to know your options, and they can be your partner in possible.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of No Other Pod. I'm Jimmy, along with my good buddy Daniel Kooser. Dan, what's going on? How's Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving, dude. It was fine, man. So that try to knock out all my holiday shopping this weekend.
Oh, there you go.
All your Black Friday and Cyber Monday deals, which really aren't actually deals.
I was going to say, I've been hearing this year that the deals were subpar.
If you start tracking prices like before Black Friday, nothing really changes other than them saying it's a Black Friday deal on a lot of things.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, I went and saw Ron Funches, the comedian. You know Ron?
Okay. Yeah.
He's been in a lot of stuff. Big wrestling fan as well. He was at the Comedy Club of Kansas City. That's a nice little joint over there.
His stuff pops up on my TikTok every once in a while.
Very funny, dude. He does live action stuff too.
Yeah.
He's in that Are You Smarter Than a Celebrity with Travis Kelce. He was even talking about how Travis got him tickets to the game on Black Friday. That's when we went and saw him. He had nothing but nice things to say about him. He's like, he fucking checked in on me to make sure I got my tickets okay. And he was like, yo, you good? You get in all right? And he's like, I'm an adult. I got in just fine.
Shouldn't she be worried about other things right now?
He's like, I can't get you in the suite. And he's like, oh, you can't get me in with Taylor Swift? Well, then never mind. Anyways, pretty good weekend, man. Did you stay in town?
I did. I stayed home. My weekend got a little funky because my dog hurt her knee, and I thought it was a torn ACL. And long story short, does not appear to be a torn ACL, but it does appear to be a torn meniscus. So we may have avoided surgery because it's very slight, but I have to keep her from doing dog things. No running, no jumping. So I just kind of sat there with my dog, and I watched the parade, watched football. Packers got a big win in the snow at Lambeau on Thursday night, so I was happy. Watched the Chiefs Friday, squeak that one out. That one got a little closer than it needed to be.
It doesn't make sense. I was at my brother's place in Overland Park before the comedy show, wearing a Chiefs hoodie, much like the one I have on, but potentially the one I have on. And I was like, this sucks. I got to wear this hoodie around the rest of the evening, and everyone's just going to use that as a chance to talk about the game, and I don't want to talk.
Yeah.
And then the game just shifted, and I was like, I'll talk. I'll talk all about it.
It's funny because I'm in some group chats, and everybody hates on the Chiefs. Like,
of course.
They're the evil empire now, and it's so funny, the narrative, whenever anything happens to the Chiefs, like, oh, this is so rigged, here's the latest picture of the Chief player, and then they're sending pictures of the refs, and I'm like, yes, you're right, the refs put a microchip in the football so that the center would hike it at the wrong time and cause the quarterback to fumble, and that's exactly what happened.
It's all not even original anymore. Like, everyone's like, oh, here's a picture of their MVP, and it's a referee in like red and black stripes or whatever. And it's like, what do you think you're the first one to do that? Very freaking funny.
It's the same thing that happens when I was at USC, and even still now, though people are shit talking me a lot less because we're not good. But when I was at USC, people thought they were so funny because they'd make condom jokes. And I'm like, we've never heard this before.
Never heard that.
Nobody's ever thought that, oh, the Trojans, you're condoms. And I'm like, cool. Good job. Proud of you.
That's like here in Topeka, man, when Seaman takes on the Topeka High Trojans. Seaman busts through Trojans' defense. It's crazy. That's the school here, man. Seaman.
Yeah, I get it. So it's a good weekend. Yeah, I just hung out, had some good food. Let me tell you, this is very not vegan, but I bought at Hy-Vee a pumpkin Cheesecake Factory cheesecake, and it is delicious.
Like from like the restaurant?
It's
Cheesecake
from
Factory?
Cheesecake Factory, just
Oh.
like a miniature one that they were selling in store for like $20. And man, it's good. I'm not a huge pumpkin fan, but I saw it and I impulse bought it, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get a pumpkin cheesecake. And let me tell you, it's pretty good.
Okay.
Very cool. If you're ever near a Cheesecake Factory and it's the fall time and you want to try their pumpkin cheesecake, I can highly recommend it. So
Amazing.
I think they have a vegan cheesecake at Cheesecake Factory.
I highly doubt that. That's very franchise.
Maybe they have a
sugar-free
sugar-free cheesecake. I'm thinking of so it's not vegan.
potentially sugar free because that is a big deal.
Yeah, probably not.
Doesn't matter. She's governor of the days. I could make it myself. Whatever. I enjoy making stuff myself. It's fun.
Yeah. So, but no, it was a good weekend. I'm in a college football 25 online dynasty. Some friends, so playing through that. The University of New Mexico just went into the big house, not a big upset of the University of Michigan. So that was fun. I was proud of the boys. We rallied from an early deficit, came back and won the game. So
Yeah.
just a big football weekend over here for me.
For me, I was building a Lego set, and when I say Lego, it was actually Mega, which is like a kind of like Legos, but it's their own brand, Mega.
Yeah.
Never had one. I think it would be blasphemy if my mom ever bought me a Mega set when I asked for a Lego set. But anyways, it's the Xbox 360 to scale, fresh with not to scale. Sorry, it's like a 3 to 4 scale situation. But it's like 3/4 of it, and it's got a controller that I had to build, and the Halo 3 game case I had to build, and it lights up, bro. I had a hell of a time, hell of a weekend.
Are you a board game fan at all? Do you like board games?
Sometimes. Depends.
I just saw a video where these people were playing this game and it looked kind of fun. It's made by Lego, like an official Lego licensed board game, but it's called Monkey Palace, and you have like little Lego pieces, and you got to build, like you're basically building like a forest, and like you get different points for the way you build it and such. It's like an hour gameplay, but it looked kind of fun. So if you're looking for something to do this holiday season, and it's not very expensive as board games go. But
yeah, it's ages 10 and up. Looks like it takes 45 minutes to play. Monkey Palace, huh?
Yeah, it seemed kind of fun. So if you're into Legos, you're into board games. I saw that and I was like, you know what? I think I kind of want to buy this. So it seemed kind of fun.
I do enjoy board games and stuff I've never heard of and everything. Me too. I get in the Jackbox mood as well, man.
Jackbox is fun. We've done it
all the time,
a couple times. We can do it again.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, it was a good weekend. Watched a little MLS Cup playoffs. Had some fun results there that we saw too. I went and saw Wicked. That was good.
Did you?
Enjoyed Wicked. Really right.
And I saw Gladiator. What a time.
And I heard you liked that too.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. Did it live up to the hype of the first one?
I mean, yeah, it was very, very good. I can't even begin to tell you why Denzel Washington belongs in the top 5 favorite actors on my list. It's crazy.
Well, maybe I'll have to go check out Gladiator 2 then at some point. I will say, if you're at all a fan of musical theater, or even if you're just, somebody who likes a good spectacle, Wicked's worth seeing. Enjoyed it. So I'm a big fan of the show, so I enjoyed it. But very good. Ariana Grande, Cynthia Erivo, very good in the movie. So
the tomorrow thing for me. We're looking at.
There you go. It's 2 hours and 45 minutes. It's a long movie.
I know.
It's a long movie.
Good grief. That's a couple potty breaks.
Yeah, it didn't feel like it dragged though.
Yeah.
So, are you at all familiar with the story?
Yeah, I saw it live in Chicago and been singing it in choirs my entire friggin' life.
If you're gonna go pee, I think the potty break time is a spoiler alert, kind of. If you're not sure of what's happening in the movie, but there's a scene when the animals are singing about something bad that's happening in Oz. That's the best potty break time, I think, because you're not going to miss a whole lot of plot. So
if you go to run pee, they say that your pee time should be at the 45th minute and an hour 41.
Interesting.
Where there's no singing, no plot development, minor character moments, but nothing we don't already know.
Okay.
You use run pee?
I don't. I know of it.
Okay.
I don't pee in movies.
Well, I don't pee in movies either. I do go to the bathroom. What if you don't pee in movies? You just don't hydrate?
I somewhat dehydrate myself.
Why?
Before a movie, because I don't want to miss anything.
But you don't miss anything. You click on Run P, and it
No,
tells you exactly what you're missing.
It's something. I want to.
It tells you what you're
I
missing.
don't want it to tell me. I mean, the second time I'll see a movie, I'll go pee all day. Like, I'm not worried about missing something. The first time
You need to hydrate. You need to hydrate your bitch ass.
No, see, I go. I know right when I go to the bathroom, Nicole Kidman comes on the screen. I'm like, okay, I got like 3 minutes. So Nicole Kidman comes on the screen. I go. She's, heartbreak feels good in a place like this, and I'm peeing. And then by the time I get back, it's just finishing with like the, please turn off your phones or whatever comes after Nicole Kidman, and I'm good. So it's all good. And then I don't pee. And then
drink far too much water for that.
Then if I'm worried about it, I'll get some popcorn and I'll eat something salty and not drink water. And then I'll go to the bathroom after. So
Whatever works for you.
the whole system. But yeah, it was a fun weekend. One surprising result, maybe kind of, sort of, in MLS Cup playoffs that we'll talk about. And then the Galaxy Seattle game, pretty good game as we expected, but pretty tough injury coming out of that one. So what if, I think maybe we go ahead and we take our break now, and then we'll come back and let's talk a little MLS Cup playoffs and what it means for the MLS Cup final. So we'll take a break. We'll be right back.
Looking for tickets for your next event? Tickets for Less is your number one source. Save big on every purchase when you use promo code KCSN at ticketsforless.com.
Look, gonna bust this on you right now, man. We might have to alter our recording schedule a little bit because I'm getting back on stage, man. I gotta roll in this farce of a play. It's called Unnecessary Farce. Yeah.
Okay. What's your role? What are you doing?
I play like I don't know, probably the lead guy, probably the guy with the most lines. I guess I'm on stage the most, but I'm a cop doing an undercover sting at a hotel, and it's shenanigans ensue. It's pretty wild.
Cop Daniel.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Not the first time.
I always pegged you as was a cop.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little MLS Cup playoffs here, because we knew the first game of the day was going to be Orlando City versus the New York Red Bulls. And this was one that, of the two games, probably isn't the marquee game of the two, but maybe had some more intrigue in it for me, because Seattle and LA Galaxy, we all know they're a historic couple of teams. They've won multiple MLS Cups. This one was the one where one of these teams was going to get to MLS Cup final and have a shot at winning their first ever MLS Cup, and between Orlando and the New York Red Bulls. And it was you look at sort of how the game played out, relatively even for the most part. If you look at expected goals over the course of the game, etc., basically even at just over one apiece. It was not tons and tons of chances, but there were chances here and there. But it was after the start of the second half in the 47th minute when it was just a missile of a set piece. And John Tolkien sent it in for Andres Reyes, and he just gets a header to it. It goes off the inside bar, and there was not a chance in hell that the Orlando City keeper was going to be able to save this. And really, that's all they needed. And the New York Red Bulls are headed to MLS Cup in an attempt to win one of their first ever MLS Cup, even dating back to their New York, New Jersey Metro Stars days. As an MLS original, they've never done it.
Yeah, this is pretty dope, really, for New York Red Bulls. This is a repeat of the World Series, for God's sakes. New York versus LA, but technically it's New York, New Jersey, whatever. Dude, this is, my very first MLS Cup that I watched was in 2014, and LA Galaxy were there, and they haven't been there again for years.
Was it the Revolution?
Probably the Revs, yeah.
Yeah.
And I just remember because I just got into soccer that year, so I was trying to take it all in, learn the stuff, watch the playoffs, so I'll watch the Cup and all that. But exactly 10 years later, Galaxy are back in it, looking for a freaking 6-star, right? Don't they have 5?
I think they have 5. They're going for a 6th.
Yeah, it'll be a record 6th league title.
Mm-hmm.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but we're all red on Saturday, right? We're all rooting for the Red Bulls.
For sure. I'm rooting for the Red Bulls.
It makes sense.
I got nothing against the Red Bulls. They're just hanging out. they're fine.
bet they're happier to be playing in LA in December than they are in New York in December.
Oh, 100%. And they're happier to be playing in LA without Ricky Pooch, because that is a sad story that we'll talk about here in just a little bit. But yeah, no, I mean, look, the Red Bulls, MLS Original, I think this is also the first time that an MLS Cup final has been 2 MLS Originals since 2014, if I have my memory correctly. Someone will fact check me if I'm wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure this is the first time since then that there's been 2 MLS Originals, even if it's not the same original name that the Red Bulls once had as the Metro Stars. But yeah, I mean, the Red Bulls, we had our moments with them when Kaká blasted a ball into the face of a fan at Children's Mercy Park, but I didn't hold that against the Red Bulls as an organization. I held that more against Kaká as a player. The Red Bulls as an organization, they're fine to me. I mean, Jesse Marsh, I like him as a coach. He coached there for a long time. We've been on a couple of podcasts with Red Bulls podcasters over the years, over, I-80 Sports. Bob, he's a Red Bulls fan, and he's a very nice guy. So yeah, I'm pulling for the Red Bulls. I don't need to see the LA Galaxy get a 6th star. And I also think it's just funny that the Galaxy have added crazy big name players like Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Chicharito and now Marco Reus, and they can keep adding these older superstars and just not break through to MLS Cup. So
I gotta correct you. It was not Kaká, by the way, that did that.
Not Kaká. What was his name?
I mean, I know what I'm thinking of, but it was not Kaká. I was like, that man played for Orlando City.
It was a Kaku, I think.
God dang it! You know what? When you have these names that sound like Star Wars characters, very easy to mix them up. Okay.
I am glad that you corrected that, because Kaká, very different player, played for Orlando City at the end of his career, but also a legend of European football.
I just Googled it. I was like, that doesn't sound right to me. And then I saw the guy's face. I was like, well, that's not who.
That's not him. No, it was Kaku who did it.
Wow, man. And this league just shuffles players all over the place. So you never know.
Yeah. I mean, it has been crazy. And now you look at the Red Bulls and yeah, this isn't a Red Bulls team, of years past where they had, Thierry Henry and Sasha Kljestan and some pretty big name players. Forsberg is probably their biggest player. Van Zier, if there's a villain on the Red Bulls, it's Van Zier. He's got a little bit of controversy in his past with some racist language that probably wasn't handled the best. Shouldn't have ever been said in the first place. But I think I'm just ready to see a team that's never won MLS Cup win one. So I'll be pulling for the Red Bulls. I feel mildly bad, I guess, for Orlando City, but I've never been much of an Orlando City fan. I haven't. So I'm happy the Red Bulls pulled this one out, and it was a pretty even match. So I thought it was interesting. In terms of the Western Conference, LA Galaxy, they, as we mentioned, a very historic team. And you look at sort of their lineup, they're the ones who, if anybody is sort of the evil empire of MLS, that's, historically it's the LA Galaxy and the lineup that they can roll out on any given week. We've talked about it before between Paintsil and Joveljic and Ricky Puig and Marco Reus and Gabriel Peck. I mean, it's a high-powered lineup. Seattle played them pretty well. I mean, they did what Seattle does and took it deep into the game. I mean, 85th minute, I think, when Joveljic finally scored.
They kept it close, probably put a little heat on LA, made them scared a little bit. They're probably lucky to walk away from that one. But, I mean, this is what it is, man. LA has been pretty consistently good, all year. So it's like, this is what you get. They're in this thing now. Doesn't mean I want them to win at all.
No. Well, and what's crazy to me is Ricky Puig is credited with having an assist on this play. This goal happens in the 85th minute. Ricky Puig is the one who plays the through ball to Joveljic. And then he runs over to celebrate. As I said, 85th minute. Ricky Puig tore his ACL in the 63rd minute of this game and then played 30 more minutes. I mean, that's Logan and Denbe did a verse, but...
That's some Logan and Denbe shit, absolutely.
But still, the fact that you tore your goddamn ACL, and then played a perfect ball to your striker, who then put the game away, and that's what ultimately sent you on the MLS Cup. Even though he's not going to play in MLS Cup, he's probably going to miss the vast majority of the 2025 season while he rehabs from a torn ACL. I mean, this team wouldn't be where they are without him. He's probably the best player in Major League Soccer that's not named Lionel Messi. So I feel bad for him. He's a young guy, seems like a nice enough kid. But I'm excited, man. We're getting a historic matchup between the LA Galaxy and the New York Red Bulls. So
Well,
this should be a fun one.
This handicaps LA a bit. I mean, that's a really good player, Mr. Pooge. But it'll help, New York Red Bulls kind of catch up a little bit as far as star power goes. It'll be interesting, man. See if Red Bulls can pull it off, though, or if their luck runs out and they get smashed by an LA Galaxy team that drops touchdowns on people,
Mm-hmm.
I don't really have any predictions because it's soccer and MLS Cup and anything can happen. But I swear to God, I'm rooting for New York Red Bulls. Let's go.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. If you look at, as an example, LA Galaxy a couple of months ago in September, they played St. Louis City. The LA Galaxy did not have Ricky Puig available for St. Louis City. Marco Royce played the number 10, which is normally occupied by Ricky Puig. And if you look at what happened in that game, a Ricky Puig-less LA Galaxy, St. Louis won 2-1. Granted, it was at City Park, but St. Louis, as we all know, pretty not great team this year. And they played the LA Galaxy very even. It was actually a pretty similar game to the one that just happened against Seattle. Just a couple more goals were converted. And look, man, if a team like St. Louis can go and defeat the LA Galaxy when they don't have Ricky Puig, certainly the New York Red Bulls can. One of the key things that happened in that game was St. Louis City got out to a very early lead in the 9th minute and sort of put LA Galaxy on the back heel. The Galaxy tied it up, and then the St. Louis City was able to get the winning goal in the 68th minute. But there's a blueprint out there for beating the LA Galaxy when they don't have their best player. So Red Bulls is, pretty talented team. If you look at, the conference standings, they're by no means the best in the East. They are a 7th seed. So this is a little bit of a Cinderella story, but I feel like it'd be fitting for the Red Bulls to have a little bit of a Cinderella run. Rarely in recent history have they been, at the very top of the East. They're always kind of the bridesmaid who never gets to be the bride. And now maybe here's their chance to finally get that championship.
Absolutely.
So I'm looking forward to it. Should be pretty fun. It will have to go up against the SEC championship. It's at the exact same time, 3 p.m. Central on Saturday as SEC championship, Texas, Georgia. So your beloved Alabama, unfortunately for you, not in the SEC championship, but maybe it's a good thing because they might have an outside shot to sneak into the playoffs now. So
can't say I've watched more than 2 games this year
of Alabama football, really?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I torture myself and watch every single USC football game.
Well, KU's number 1 for me. So it's just, secondary team. So
did KU play Baylor? They didn't win, did they?
No. You don't have to get into that nonsense.
Well, I mean, they had a good run there. They were mowing through some teams, and they ruined Colorado's season, so that's fun.
Yeah, playing spoiler is always fun.
Yeah, I was hoping that SC would spoil Notre Dame's season, and it looked like we might until our quarterback decided to throw a 99-yard interception return for a touchdown, which you would think that's the longest thing that can happen, and then he decided to throw an interception that was 7 yards deep in the end zone on the very next possession that was also returned for a touchdown. So
fun times.
Not the best college football weekend for me, but yeah, man, I don't know. I'm excited. And then it comes down to the end of the Major League Soccer season, and then we got an expansion draft next week where San Diego FC is going to be picking 5 players from some teams. We haven't seen any protected lists. I don't think there's anybody that we're really worried on Sporting Kansas City in terms of absolutely needing to be protected for that if they want to take one of our players. We heard Mike Verne say, heck, there are some players who are currently on the roster who, if we could get them out of here, we probably would have. So maybe they could do us a favor and pick off a player or two, which actually you want to big brain this, Mike Burns, if there is a player or two whom maybe you want to absolve yourself of and you don't want them to be protected, maybe an Eric Tommy is the type of player that doesn't really fit with the long-term plans, but is a big contract you'd like to get out of, maybe you leave him unprotected. And you dare San Diego FC. He's a good player. You dare San Diego FC to pick up a very solid player who could probably help them quite a bit, but just doesn't fit into the strategy that Sporting Kansas City is doing. It's probably not going to happen, but
See, that's wild. I can't dog on Tommy, dude. I feel like he's important around here. I don't know.
I'm not dogging on Tom, but also just like you can kind of read
feel like he's not important to this team.
You kind of read between the lines of what Burns said, and because they're gonna sign a DP number 10, so I guess that maybe pushes Tommy out to the wing. Maybe you could play him in place of Johnny Russell, but he's better on the left more than he is on the right, so you can move Daniel to the right and Tommy on the left. But what if you sign another winger? I don't know. It's just I don't know that he's the fit for what this team wants to do anymore. And if somebody were to take his $1 million+ salary, I like Eric Tommy. I think he's a wonderful person, and I've had nothing but great interactions with him. But if someone were to say, hey, I'll take that salary off your books and you can put it elsewhere, I'm not saying no. So just throwing it out.
I guess we'll see.
I'm just throwing it out there. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens. And then we got the re-entry drafts and free agency, and there's the half-day trade window that opens up that Sporting sometimes is active in and sometimes isn't. So there will be some off-season stuff to happen over the next month or so. But this is the big week. It's the MLS Cup final, and this is what we all watch all year to come down and watch. So that's the big news in terms of what's happening this week. The other thing, I guess, that's maybe worth mentioning is St. Louis City. They do have a new coach. Don't really know much about him. I mean, he played for Aston Villa. He captained Sweden. His name is Olof Mellberg. The only thing I can ever think of anymore when I hear the name Olaf is a little snowman from Frozen.
Little snowman.
He will forever be associated with Frozen for me. I have no commentary or any sort of analysis to add to this other than St. Louis has hired a coach, because that's really all that has happened in MLS. This, Luis Suarez is coming back to Inter Miami. Nobody's surprised. They're probably going to break all sorts of roster rules again to make sure that they can keep that team together. They're claiming Lionel Messi is going to still be here when they open their new stadium 2 years from now. I don't know how that's possible, but
I mean, the dude's got the fountain of youth, man. I mean, he's still getting it done. So, I mean, who are we to doubt him?
The other interesting thing, I guess, that happened since we last recorded that was a little out of the blue is Toronto FC's coach, John Herdman, just sort of resigned abruptly. So, Toronto, they're not what they once were in terms of a team on the field. But I have to think if you're an MLS coach, or if you're a coach, I don't know, maybe you're Vanni Sartini, who just got fired from Vancouver. You're used to coaching in Canada. You want to go to a historically successful team. Maybe you want to stick one to Vancouver, who just parted ways with you. Maybe you look at Toronto FC. I just think, of the jobs that are open, that one's a little bit more interesting to me than, some of the others. But it's kind of a slower time in MLS right now. So, but certainly going to be watching MLS Cup final on Saturday. So, but outside of MLS, you got any recommendations for people to pass the time as we get through this cold weather? You got any new shows you're watching? You going to be doing anything in particular? WWE, you said there's something Saturday that I'm not aware of. I don't even know what it is.
Well, you don't get down on the NXT side of things, which you should. Even if it were to just watch the big events, you should.
Okay.
But, yeah, Deadline. Deadline's this Saturday.
Deadline does an NXT thing?
Mm-hmm.
And then it'll already have happened by the time you listen to this, but the New Day reunion on Monday Night Raw happened, so 10 years reunion.
Quote, reunion / breakup.
No. I will say I sent this to you. I don't think you've read it, but the Players Tribune
Gambit.
Big E, I mean, it's long. It's very long. But I read the whole thing that Big E, who's one of the members of New Day, a wrestling faction, wrote. Dude, it got a little dusty when I was reading it. Like, it had me tearing up a little bit because it talks so much about his journey with like depression and anxiety and thoughts of, trigger warning, but thoughts of self-harm. And he was very open and honest about, things that sort of honestly saved his life, including Iowa football. And he talks about Kirk Ferentz, the coach of Iowa football, who just helped get him right. I mean, it was a very good read and a very emotional read, especially as somebody who's dealt with a little bit of, depression, anxiety, all that sort of stuff. So even if you're not a wrestling fan and you have 20 minutes to read a pretty good article, I like a lot of what happens in the Players Tribune, but that one I thought was really interesting. And then it ended on a really like inspirational and hopeful note, I thought. So that's my recommendation. Go read that. So that's
just in time for his group to break up. Oh boy.
Do you think he's ever going to wrestle again? I mean, he broke his neck, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
That's hard to come back from.
It's tough.
I don't know.
He's got to come back and be the glue to hold them together.
Edge didn't break his neck back in the day, right? He just had something else going on that was neck related, and that's why he had to stop for a while.
I don't remember.
Because I know he left for like 7 years and then came back, but he was a lot younger than Big E was when that happened.
It all just kind of blurs together.
He's about to be 40, he said. So, but which in wrestling terms is apparently ancient. So
that's pretty ancient. I mean, Nikki Bella broke her neck at one point. Daniel Bryan hurt himself. Nikki Bella's gonna be on the new season of The Traitors. I don't know if you watched The Traitors, but that is an excellent reality competition program. It won Emmy this year.
Reality competition program I'm watching right now? Wizards of Baking. The Harry Potter baking competition.
I heard that was cool.
If you're a Harry Potter fan, it's pretty cool.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. They film it at the Warner Brothers Harry Potter London studio, and I had about a year ago went to see it. So they're filming it in the places that I walk through, so that's kind of cool too.
I got a little bored the other day, and I breezed right through Humans versus Hamsters.
I have no idea what that is.
It's on Max, dude, and like humans have to take on these obstacle courses while hamsters take on a smaller scale of these obstacle courses.
Oh, it's the same obstacle course?
The same shit, and the humans got to do it, and it's pretty wild, man. It's pretty wild.
Why do I immediately want to go watch this?
I mean, it's worth a breeze. It's freaking corny, but it's like it was easy holiday watching while I was cooking.
That's the type of stuff. Like, I don't know if I ever told you this. Sorry, my dog's doing something weird over here. I tried to get on Wipeout when it was still on TV. I sent in like an application and everything. I was like, I can at least get through the first. Like, I can qualify through the first obstacle course. Like, I definitely could. They never called me.
I ran a Wipeout 5K back in the day.
I did that. Well, the one that I ran here in Kansas, it was called Hit and Run. It wasn't Wipeout branded, but
I ran that one too.
Oh.
But I did the Wipeout one was actually at Legends by the Speedway.
Okay.
And they had the big balls and all that stuff. So.
The Hit and Run 5K was fun because they had the big balls and everything too, and it's friggin' hard. You jump and you go flying off that first one. Someone hurt themselves when I was there. They had to call like the medics and everything. But
yeah,
it was fun.
Yeah, we did the Hit and Run. I got the headband somewhere.
Yeah, it was after I did that when like because they had the wall that you had to run across. They had like the arms that would come out and try to punch you off or people shooting you. It was after I did that where I was like, I could do Wipeout. I'm smarter than at least 70% of the people that are on Wipeout.
Man, I want to apply for all that shit. Like I've been watching that. Are you smarter than a celebrity? And I'm like, I could be doing these 6th grade math questions, no problem.
Those ones scare me because I know my brain might lock up. Like I know I can run.
Or you'll overthink it.
Yeah, I can. Like same thing with Family Feud. Like I'm sitting watching at home and I'm like, oh yeah, easy, and I know I'm gonna get there and I'm gonna be the clip that goes viral on TikTok for the next 7 years where Steve Harvey makes fun of me.
Family Feud sucks. All you gotta do is like win the last round and you get unbelievable points and you can win. It's like the earlier rounds don't matter at all.
The answers don't make sense. That's the problem. It's dependent on the public, and the public is stupid.
Public's very stupid.
I sent in, this was in the middle of the pandemic. I was very bored. I sent in an audition tape for Survivor.
Dude,
did not.
I auditioned too for Survivor. Why not?
I was like, I know I can. I was like, I don't know if I can win, but my strategy is don't be too like loud or obnoxious. Just work hard, help. I know I'll be good I'll be good enough in physical challenges and good enough in mental challenges that they'll see me as useful. And then I might not get far enough to win, but I'll get far enough to get in the money. So that was my goal, and did not work. I was not interested.
You gotta apply again. You just can't do one and done.
I haven't watched Survivor since the pandemic, but maybe I'll start. It's a fun show. Well, you and I talked about at one point applying for The Amazing Race, and timing didn't ever work out for me. Cause like if we get accepted, I can't quit my job. But I don't know. Maybe
I need new hips, bro. I'm not even sure if I could do that.
Yeah, it's that one's a fun one too. That one would be tough. So would be pretty cool. But anyway, I mean, this is probably a shorter episode, but I mean, that's really all of the stuff that's happening in MLS this week.
Hey, we're easy and breezy and beautiful. Cover girl. It's at 3:00 Saturday.
Yeah, we'll be there. We'll be watching, and then we'll be back here to talk next week, break down what happened in MLS Cup, and then we'll see what our off-season schedule will be like from there. We know we'll take Christmas off, but we'll be back and let you know what's what. But yeah, man, thank you guys for listening. We hope it's been a fun MLS season hanging out with us. I mean, I know Sporting KC did not go as well as we had hoped, but we're working on ideas for next season on what we can do to keep bringing you the content, and maybe come up with some ways where it's not entirely dependent on how good the team is on the field. So if there's anything you liked about this year, anything you didn't like about this year, or something you'd like to see us try a little differently next year, let us know. Leave us that 5-star rating and review and tell us what you'd like to see us do next season. You can hit us on the socials at No Other Pod, at Dan Kooser, at JCMac03. You can send us an email, nootherpod@gmail.com, or check us out, KCSN Soccer on YouTube or the Kansas City Sports Network app. Until next time, he's Dan. I'm Jimmy. We'll catch y'all later. See ya.
#GetJimmyOnSurvivor.